Hello and welcome to my first election coverage live from the brand new Spartan newsroom. I'm Kelly Sheridan and we're live all day today with our first ever election day coverage coming to you from Michigan State's campus. Our guest this afternoon is Michigan State journalism professor Joe Grimm, who is the editor of the Bias Busters series, which is a series of publications that aims to answer different questions about culture groups in USA. Joe, can you tell us about what the books you've been working on recently?
Sure. Thanks, Kelly. It's great to be on your show. We have been doing these books for a few years now. We're working on our 12th one now, and through the series we try to answer questions about cultural groups that prevent people from having conversations with each other. Right now we're working on a guide about transgender people.
So you mentioned how different groups tend to have different stereotypes with voting and stuff. How have you seen that with your research?
Absolutely. Almost every major cultural group has stereotypes about how it will vote, and every one of those groups has exceptions to the stereotype. If you look at the Republican primary, we had two Hispanic candidates running for president, yet the stereotype says Hispanic people are Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
That's a contradiction right there. We have stereotypes about how Arabs will vote, about how Asian Americans will vote, about how African Americans will vote. There are even stereotypes about how college students will vote.
Why do you think it's important to answer these questions and tackle these issues, especially like when we're dealing with an election where these types of things are going to come up, and these are, for example, immigrants to the U.S. is a very popular thing that's come up in this country. Why do you think it's important to knock those stereotypes out of the way and talk about them?
Well, stereotypes get in the way of knowing and understanding people, and we just came out about a month ago with this guide about immigrants, and we did it specifically for this election because there was so much talk about immigrants that frankly just wasn't true. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to be out there with some information people could use to help them really understand what immigrants are all about and to replace some of that bias with some knowledge.
Why do you think America, what do you, as a whole, do you think America's view on immigrants is right now?
Well, that would be a case where I'd say I don't think there is one American view on immigrants. Remember, tens of millions of Americans are immigrants, mm-hmm. or the children of immigrants. Mm-hmm. And so their view about immigrants is very different than somebody who says they don't like immigrants.
Do you think that if more of these were to be made and more people took that step to know about these different culture groups, do you think there would be less problems that we see today with diversity and things like that?
Well, that's our hope. The students who make these books, and these are all made by students in journalism classes at Michigan State University, the idea is to really have people engage the people they work with, go to school with, live near, engage them in some conversation. So we're trying to answer the 100 most basic questions people have so that they don't have to feel embarrassed about asking the question or worry that they're going to hurt somebody by asking a question that could be kind of painful.
You mentioned that right now you guys are working on transgender. What else, do you have any other ideas for future plans?
Oh, yes, we have a lot of ideas. We're going to do a pretty exciting one starting in the spring. It'll be a double issue. It'll be a flip issue. That'll be about, I think it'll probably be about millennials and Gen X. And we're going to follow up the transgender guide with one about sexual orientation. And we're talking about next fall already, we're talking about human trafficking, and there are many religious groups we haven't gotten to yet. So we have a long list, even after doing 12, of subjects that really need some treatment.
Well, I look forward to seeing those. Unfortunately, our time is up. Thank you so much for stopping by with us. You're watching live my first election coverage from the Spartan newsroom on Michigan State's campus. Stay tuned all day for election coverage and interviews with Spartan alumni and live newscasts at both 6 and 8 tonight. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kelly.